Well, good morning. So this is my beginning of the year review, day 6 for 7th grade students. And with this one, what I do is I focus on rounding numbers and making change because it's a skill that I notice a lot of students still struggle with this idea of how to round numbers correctly and how to make change. And so that's what this is focusing on today. So the skill codes for today are in Get More Math are 56001 and skill code 43019, and this is rounding to the nearest thousand. Round to the nearest thousand. Skill code 43001. Which money amount is represented by the model? So again, this is skill code 55063. And then the last one is which answer could represent 1.6 given the key above. And so that's skill code 55055. So it's looking at the same idea, these concepts, and just looking at them a little bit differently to make sure that they have a solid understanding of this. And of course, what I end up doing is I leave these up for a couple of weeks in their mixed review as they're starting the beginning of their grade 7 modules. And as I see students are mastering these, then I start removing them from their review. But it gives me that opportunity and gives them an opportunity to really get this down solid, because again, we always want math to become simple, and the way they do that is through practice. So through practice, you go from impossible to simple, and that's what we need for every student. We don't want them to just kind of understand it, and a lot of times that's what happens in previous grades and with previous programs. And that's why I like Get More Math. Is Get More Math continues to bring it back and keep showing it to students in their reviews every single day. So if I switch this over right now to my mixed review, now these are all the assignments that my students are going to be working on. And they'll continue to work on them. And notice that some of these have dollar signs and some don't. So in Get More Math, I could go ahead and do this problem over here, but there's no dollar sign, so I'm not going to get any points for it. I'll only get points for problems that have dollar signs. And so those will constantly be skipping around on different problems to get me to the point where I've mastered them all. Now, these are all gold stars, so I have mastered these. These are green, which means I haven't mastered them. Green tells me that I understand the concept really well, but I haven't mastered it yet. And it could be because either it was a skill I was learning, and so I had to go through this struggle where I was getting them wrong a bunch of times, or I just haven't done enough problems yet with these problems. And so but that's what I can see for students. And as I see, if everybody has this mastered, well, then I'm going to get rid of this. I don't need everybody practicing this anymore if all the students have it mastered, or if most of the students have it mastered. And that's what I really like about Get More Math, is I can leave it here and while it's green, and have the kids continue to work on it. So even though it's basic multiplication, I haven't worked on this one enough for Get More Math to go, okay, I think she's mastered this. And so I'm just going to keep getting it. And that's one of the things I love about Get More Math, and why I think you should be using it. And then, so that is today's review, and you're going to go ahead and see me teaching the lesson to my students. Okay, thanks. Hi, so we're here for the beginning of the year review, day number 6. And so I'm going to share my screen and we're going to get started. And if you are enjoying my channel, please subscribe. So you're going to need your workbook open to page S22 as we get ready to work on today's review. So this is still, again, basic number sense review. The first one, we're going to talk about rounding. So one of the things I'm going to want you to practice again is rounding numbers. Now this one says round to the 10,000. So we're going to look at the 10,000, and then here's the rule. We look back at the number just to the right of it, and if the number is 0 to 4, we leave it alone. And if the number is 5 to 9, we're going to round that number up 1. So the number is a 6, so we are going to round this to the 7. And so basically, if you just look at a number line, what we're saying is, if you had 56,000 here, so all this is really saying is, if we had a number line and we had 560,000 here, and we had 570,000 here, and then the number right smack in the middle would be 565,000. And we just want to know, this number right here, is it closer to this number, or is it closer to this one? And we can see that we'd find that number somewhere over here. So we're going to round up to 570,000. So again, this is just going back to number sense. If you struggled with this concept when you were younger, it's something that I stuck in here because I don't want you to struggle with it anymore. So we're going to put it in here for you to practice. If you don't know, if everybody knows how to do it, I'll be able to take it off of the Get More Math after a couple of days. So again, if you understand how to do this, then you have another day where you're getting a gift, okay? So, which is good, because in a few weeks, you're going to have lots of days there's none. The next one wants you to round to the nearest 10,000. So it's having you round to the exact same thing again. And this time, we could draw our number line. And we would have 430,000 here. And we would have 440,000 here. And of course, the number right in the middle of that would be 435,000. And we're just saying, hey, is this number closer to this number or closer to this number? And we'd see that it would be somewhere right here. So it's closer to this one. So we're going to leave it alone. And we're going to round it to 430,000. Okay. Betty had 20.353 grams of flour. How many grams did she have to the nearest whole number? So we're rounding right here. So basically what we're saying here is we have 20. The next whole number is 21. And the number halfway in the middle of these two is going to be 20.5. And we want to know this one, 20.353. Well, that's going to be somewhere over here. So rounding to the nearest whole number, we're going to round to 20. Okay? And that's how you're going to do these right here. And then we'll go on to the next one. So number 7, it changes a little bit. It says, hey, your bill was $34.10 and you paid with $35. What's your change? So you need to get change from $35. The biggest thing to remember is $35, no cents. Subtracting $34.10. So a lot of you, a lot of times what I see is students just set this up wrong because they don't realize that $35 means that they have to add a decimal with 2 zeros because there's no cents. And then we just do the math, and the rules with adding or subtracting with decimals is you just line up the decimals and you add or subtract like normal. Well, 0 minus 0 is 0. And 1 minus 0, well, I can't take 1 from 0. So I'm going to have to borrow $1 over here and give myself 10 dimes. And 10 minus 1 is 9. 4 minus 4 is 0. 3 minus 3 is 0. Please don't forget the dollar sign. The dollar sign comes first. And then I want you to get in the habit of if the number is less than 1, so it's less than $1, I'm going to want you to put a 0 here as a placeholder, then the decimal, then 90 cents. So your change would be 90. Here's another one. You pay with a $25 bill. So again, I want you to start with $25 and no cent. And your bill was $21.55. And then what's going to be your change? So you're going to be subtracting. So again, we line up our decimals and we just subtract like normal. Well, I can't take 5 from 0, so I have to borrow, but there's nothing there. So I have to borrow again. So I'll go over here and I'll make this $4. That gives me 10 dimes. So I'll take one of those dimes and give me 10 pennies. So 10 minus 5 is 5. 9 minus 5 is 4. 4 minus 1 is 3. And 2 minus 2 is 0. And so your change is $3.45. So again, that's going to be another part of your day today. So again, hopefully the math is pretty easy today. Next one is we want you to recognize how much money is modeled below using counting tiles. And so these tiles have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. By 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 10 times 10, which is 100. 100 pennies is $1. So we know it's more than $1, but there's not 2 full, so we know it's not more than $2. So we can cross that one off. And then we just count these. We know these are groups of 10. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95. So we need $1.95. Okay? And that's pretty easy. The next one, you are just actually counting money. So I just actually want you to actually count the money. This is $5. So it looks like we have $5 and a quarter and a quarter. So 25, 25, and then a dime, 30. So 25 and 25 is 50, plus 10 is 60, plus 10 is 70, plus another 10 is 80. So you have $5.80. So again, just wanting to make sure that you can count money. So just make sure that you can recognize all these coins, know what they're worth, and be able to add them all up, okay? So again, pretty easy. And then the last one, we just want you to recognize how much of a whole this is, okay? So let's take a look at how they divided it. They said that if the entire thing was colored, it's going to be 1, all right? So if it's less than that, it's going to be less than 1. So I know our answer is going to be less than 1. So it's going to start off with 0 and then point. It's going to be less than 1. And then we just have to figure out how many pieces this is. So let's take a look. They broke this into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So they broke this into 10 pieces. And then each piece is broken into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So each little one is also broken into 10. Well, if I have 10 big pieces and 10 little marks in there, 10 times 10 is 100. So I know that this is, I'm going to have 2 decimal places, right? If they were all filled, it would be 1 whole, which would look like 100. So 1.00, okay? So that's how you're going to make sure you understand that. So that would have been that total. And now we just have to figure out what this is. Well, there's a whole 10 here, and then there's 1, 2. So this is 12 hundredths. So 12 out of the 100 are here. We write it as a fraction like this, 12 hundredths. As a decimal, we write it like that. If you're not sure how to convert that to a decimal, it's pretty easy. You just do 12 divided by 100, because when you do a fraction, 12 divided by 100, you just read it top to bottom and then right to left. 12 divided by 100, and then 100 goes into 1 0 times. 100 goes into 12 0 times. So we add a decimal and a 0. Then we get 100 goes into 120 one time, which is 1 times 100 is 100. And then we subtract and we get 20. We'll add another 0. Bring it down. 100 goes into 200 2 times. 2 times 100 is 200. And it terminates. Okay, so we have 0.12. And that's what we actually have. All right, so that's how you actually do that. And I think that is the last problem for today. It is. And so that is the end of your review for today. Okay, so we'll do the evens in class, and then you guys will start working on this, and hopefully you'll feel pretty comfortable. And if you are enjoying my channel, please subscribe. Thank you.